It's the holiday season. The holiday season is sad for some. It's a joyous time for many, but sad for some for many reasons. They may be going through something financially or emotionally or mentally. Sometimes it was hard to go home for the holidays, especially when you love your family, you want to be around your family, you want to be around your friends. And so I just wanted to share some of my thoughts as a transplant, how to navigate being away from family on the holidays and combating being lonely or being by yourself.
What's up? Welcome to the You Knows Best Pod. I appreciate your support. In return, I hope I provide you with some worthwhile gems that benefit you on your journey. At the very least, I hope I put a smile on your face. If not, hopefully you share this with someone that does benefit. And I got you next time. Again, thanks for joining today, and let's get this thing going.
What's up? Welcome to another episode of the Hube Knows Best Pod. I'm gonna give you the truth, the whole truth. What's best I can, so help me God. I'm recording this because it's the holiday season. Thanksgiving is a week out. When you see this, it'll probably be the week, like the day of or the week of. And Christmas is on the way. And as you may know, I'm in Chicago. I'm not from Chicago. And I wanted to share some things, with people during the holiday season. The holiday season is sad for some. It's a joyous time for many, but sad for some for many reasons. They may have lost loved ones. They may be going through something financially or emotionally or mentally. But some of them are just dealing with the fact that they are away from family. And that's someone that I'm 38 and I moved away to go to college at 18. I probably have spent more time away from family on like Thanksgiving and Christmas than I've actually spent with family. Just because I lived in different places. Like I lived in DC in college. I don't come from money. And so sometimes it was hard to go home for the holidays. Like I know, shout out to my best friend, Nyla. I spent Thanksgiving with her family, when I was in college. I spent Thanksgiving in DC. I've spent Christmas and holidays with my best friend, Brisa, that lives in San Diego. And, you know, it can be hard for you, especially when you love your family. You want to be around your family. You want to be around your friends. And so I just wanted to share some of my thoughts as a transplant, living in a different city, on how many of you who may be transplants for the first time, how to navigate being away from family on the holidays and combating being lonely or being by yourself, right? So one of the first things I'll say is, you have to go out and try to make friends and, you know, extend yourself, even if you're introverted. And I know a lot of people are introverted and aren't comfortable doing that, but it's the only way that you're going to actually build community. And so for me, everywhere that I've lived, I've tried to build community, make friends. And I always tell people I'm like an antisocial, people person. Like I get along with pretty much anybody, but I really don't be fucking with people, to be honest. Like, just because I can step back and look at how people are, and sometimes people can be disappointing. You get what I'm saying? And so what I'll say is try to build community, whether that be, joining nonprofit organizations, joining a church, joining, local meetups, like professional groups or whatever. Just be open. Like I used to hear all the time when I lived in the Bay, oh, there's not community out here. For context, I lived in DC, San Diego, Oakland, Chicago, Atlanta, and of course I'm from Columbus, Georgia. So, but I've lived in 5 major cities, in my time as an adult. And you always hear like, oh, there's not community. And that was very prevalent in like, Oakland, because it's transplants from all over the place. And we're all kind of spread out with these jobs and these tech companies, and people were like, oh, there's not community. And my pushback was, well, you have to actually try to build community. You have to actually put yourself out there, because I say that as somebody that, lived in San Diego and really didn't try to build that much community. Like in my first, year there, I eventually made a lot of friends and have my community there whenever I go back. But initially I was very closed off. I only hung out with people that I knew before I got there. And really a lot of times I would just stay to myself because I didn't trust people. Like those weren't my friends. Those weren't my day ones. Eventually those people became my friends, but like I just didn't. And I think a lot of times people make excuses for why they don't have community or friends. Like because they had one bad experience with somebody. And I get it. I'm not minimizing the fact that somebody being rude to you can fuck up your whole vibe, but you can't let that ruin your opportunity to make your experience better. Right. And so, like I said, build community, go join a church, join a run club. They have run clubs now. Join a meetup group, a business professional group, a networking group. If you're Greek, please join your local chapter and be active. Just find a way to build community and have people that are like-minded, that will care for you and take care of you. Because you never know, what can happen with that. So that'll be my first thing for you, is like, make sure you build community, find your tribe, whatever that looks like. And, you never know. Somebody in that community might invite you, to Thanksgiving or Christmas to spend the holidays with their family and their friends, because, they might actually like you. The next one is do community service. So I'm big about doing community service. So when I go home, this coming week, I plan on doing some type of community service, in my hometown. And like at my job, we did a food bank, but a lot of times, like that's the time where you meet people like, that are out, that are good people. Like most people that are doing community service aren't doing community service because they're getting something back in return. They're doing it because they're good people and they, want to serve their community and want to help others and serve others and just are genuinely good people. So it's a good way to meet good people that are kind-hearted and genuine. And so like giving back and being around people and filling yourself with joy, if that's something that you're into, and like giving back to your community, whatever that may look like. It could be a food bank, could be handing out toys to, underprivileged youth or families or what have you, but just find some community service to do, locally where you are. You never know who you may meet. You never know what may come of that. But again, that's another way to build community, so that when you are like, it may not work out this year. You might have just moved to a town. Like I know when I moved to San Diego, I had just moved to San Diego. I drove across country the day after Thanksgiving. Like I packed up all my stuff, put it in my Challenger. Yeah, I drove cross country in a Challenger, left on Friday, got there on Sunday. Yeah, it took me like 36 hours to get there. Don't ask me how fast I was driving, but, I didn't have anybody to spend Christmas with, and I couldn't go home because at that time I wasn't who I am now. I wasn't making, the money that I make now. So like flying from San Diego to Columbus, Georgia would have cost me $700-800 for a flight. I didn't have that type of money to just be wasting. Like my rent had I went from paying $375 to like $900 because I had a roommate. I had a car note. I had new insurance. Gas prices was crazy. Groceries was crazy because I moved from DC to California, and the difference in cost of living was so drastic for me at that age. So I just didn't have the money to go home for Christmas. And I remember being very lonely and very sad on Christmas. And I'm not even a big Christmas person, but being away from my friends for the first year, and like the friends that I had made in college, and like that was my community, being away from them for the first time in 8 years, it was rough. Being away from my family and not like, I didn't have the option to go hang out with my friends for the first time in 8 years. It was rough for me. I made sure that I didn't have that feeling ever again. But yeah, so maybe you just moved to your town and you don't really know anybody or know what to do, but you can always Google community service events now, or use Eventbrite or something like that, and just go out and meet people and connect with people, and try to find something to do that will at least distract you from the fact that you're not with your family or friends like you would want to be on the holiday. The next one, I'll say is like let's say you've been here for a while, right? Let's say you moved to a town in the summer. I moved to Oakland in February, like President's Day weekend. I moved to Chicago, in April. I moved to Atlanta in March. So like eventually you've spent enough time in town and you kind of start meeting people. Host a Friendsgiving or attend a Friendsgiving. Like most people are like, at least come up with the idea of Friendsgiving. Let's say you don't want to host, but maybe bring it up and let somebody else decide to host. But I would say, or a white elephant party. Those are always fun. Like, Brisa, my best friend Brisa in San Diego used to host white elephant parties, which were hilarious. But yeah, like, bring up the idea of a Friendsgiving, a white elephant party, and however big your group of friends that you made or community that you made. And that way you don't have to spend those holidays by yourself, or at least you have some type of, Thanksgiving or Christmas cheer. If you celebrate Christmas or Kwanzaa, whatever you want to call it. Whatever holiday you celebrate, just have that time with community and with your friends, that you made in a new town. And you never know who might show up. You might find your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever. Or might just make some new friends because somebody will get invited because they don't have anybody to spend a holiday with. So that is something that I would suggest. Is just like, it's something fun to do. It's a good way not to have to cook a whole Thanksgiving dinner by yourself like I did last year for me and my son, which that wasn't an issue for me. I got to spend Thanksgiving with my son, but, and I had other people's houses I had been invited to, but I wanted to cook my own Thanksgiving meal for the first time in my new home. So, host a Friendsgiving, host a white elephant, or at least attend one so that you can like start building a bigger community, share some time with friends, share good food. And just, take your mind off not being with your family. Another thing that you could do, is speak up. A lot of times what I've seen is, even with me, my friends didn't know that I was actually spending the holiday alone. They assumed that I was going home. A lot of people are just going to assume that you're going to go home unless you say something. Some people are very kind-hearted and they'll ask like, hey, what are you doing for the holidays? I'm one of those people. I ask people like, hey, what you doing for the holidays? If I know you're a transplant, because I've been in that space before. But say something like, hey, like, I know it's hard to like, and you don't want to feel like you're a burden on somebody, but like a lot of times if you made friends, if you have people that you fuck with like that, just reach out to them and say like, hey, I'm not going home for the holidays. Would it be cool if I came by and at least got a plate on Thanksgiving or Christmas and I'll bring a dish? I just don't want to be alone. I think a lot of times people's, pride and their, not wanting to be a burden gets in the way of them actually allowing other people to be a blessing to them. And so don't block your blessing by being prideful or feeling like you're a burden to people. Speak up and let them know like, hey, I'm not able to go home, or I'm not going home for the holidays and I really don't want to be alone. Would it be cool? Or would you mind coming by on holiday? Like maybe you don't feel comfortable going around their family because it's just going to make you more sad. But like just ask a friend, like tell a friend like, hey, I'm being home. If you want to stop by or whatever, I'm going to cook or whatever, or I'm going to be doing whatever. Just don't sit there to yourself in your own thoughts and make yourself sad. Like just let people know like, hey, I'm going to be here by myself. And I would love if I could either come hang out with you and your family and your friends, or if you came over, I don't mind you coming over. Because you never know what will come of that. So I would say, make sure you speak up and say something, to people, and give them the opportunity to be a blessing to you. The next one, look for events. Like I said, I brought up Eventbrite, so you can look up community service events, but usually if you're a partier, you're a partier. There's some bar, there's something going on. There's a bar crawl, something likely going on the holiday. Usually restaurants and stuff is closed, but there's usually a bar or something open or somebody throwing some type of event. So just Eventbrite and look it up. Google it, look it up and try to find something to do to get out the house and not be in your thoughts and to yourself. Seasonal depression is real. As someone that has suffered from seasonal depression in the past, you don't want to be sitting in your home by yourself, having those negative thoughts and letting them eat you up. And so I would say, look for something fun to do. Like maybe you're not a big Christmas person that likes to share gifts and wants to be around a bunch of people that's like family or whatever, or be around somebody else's family. Maybe you're not a big Thanksgiving person. I'm not a big Christmas person. I do love to eat on Thanksgiving. So anytime I can eat, I'm gonna do that. Just go find something to do. Like get out the house. I personally like to watch sports on Thanksgiving and Christmas, but eventually you get stir crazy and you want to leave the house. So that's what I would say. Like go find some events to do. Don't sit in your house in your own thoughts and your feelings if you can't go home and spend time with your family. All right. Last one, and I'm gonna let y'all go. This is one that Not everybody can do, cause I'm assuming that not everybody got the means to do this. But, I know that there was one Christmas that I was not going to go home, and I paid for my mom to come up to DC, and she got to spend, and it's funny. So I paid for my mom to come up to DC to spend Christmas with me. One of my friends wasn't going home for Christmas, so he got to spend time with me, my girlfriend at the time, and my mom. And my mom still asks about him to this day, and he loves my mom. But like, I was able to be a blessing to my friend in that moment. And it made me so happy, to give him that opportunity to spend time with my family and feel love and feel warmth, during the holiday. And so if you can, whether it be a friend or a family member, fly somebody in, to come spend the holiday with you if you don't want to be by yourself. Maybe you can't go out of town because you have to work. Like, I know when I lived in California, flying from California back to Georgia and then back to California was going to be treacherous. Like, at my old job, in my current job, I get, the first week of July off for the 4th of July holiday, and I get the last week of the year off for Christmas holiday. My old job, if Christmas was on Wednesday, we had to work on Thursday or Friday. And so going all the way to Georgia just was not feasible unless I was going to use a vacation day. And if you know me, I don't really use vacation days. I don't believe in that. Yeah. So like, it just wasn't that. It might not be feasible for you for whatever reason. It might be work related. It might be family related. Whatever it is, I would say if you want to spend time with family and you have the means to do it, fly somebody in to spend that time with you. Like, just because I get it. It's rough. It is hard to be alone in these holidays where people are really spending time with their family, and social media doesn't make it any better. I know there was a time when I moved to San Diego, and I was on Twitter, and this is when Twitter was like booming, and I literally laid in my bed and cried because I was sad because I was away from my family, not my family, but away from my friends for the first time in such a long time. And I could tell that they was having so much fun because they was tweeting. And you don't want to spend those days by yourself going spiraling because you're looking at all the spreads and all the fun and all the family time that people are spending with each other. If you're into that, you know what I'm saying? Or just your friends, like watching your friends have fun and you by yourself in a new city, you don't have that community yet. So what I will say is I pray for all y'all. I hope that everyone has a happy holiday season. And you know, that you get to experience some joy, as the year wraps up. Now, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I am going to take a break during the holiday season. It's holiday season. I want to spend time with my son. We're going down to hang out with my family for a few days. I might be doing some traveling. So, I mean, I might drop some content. I'm probably going to record content in the meantime, in between time. But look for some new content coming at the beginning of the year. I might surprise and throw some content out there, between now and Christmas after this episode drops. But I will be checking in on y'all. I will be bringing a lot of content. I'm gonna have some guests. I haven't had a guest since March, but I'm gonna have some guests. I hope y'all have a happy holiday, whether it be Thanksgiving. If you don't celebrate Thanksgiving because of the historical reasons, I get it. I hope you have a happy Christmas, a happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah, whatever. Just a happy holiday with your family. Yeah. So as always, I wish y'all peace, patience, understanding, knowledge, wisdom, discernment, health, strength, resolve. And I always say, be easy or don't. But every choice has a consequence and every action has a reaction. Peace out.